Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today we have a new video about the cancel plans for Alexa Bliss and how she responded. I unfortunately have to admit that I did get the overall feeling we were headed this direction because that's what WWE has been doing a lot lately. But new reports and a few rumors that are going around claim Alexa Bliss was originally booked to play a big role in SummerSlam main event between The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Braun Strowman. This made the most sense storyline-wise. WWE first introduced Alexa Bliss into the Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman feud during the Swamp Fight. Alexa appeared in a vision to Braun Strowman as Sister Abigail and was inviting him to join Bray Wyatt again. WWE then brilliantly followed that up by having Bray Wyatt attack and capture Alexa Bliss. That was absolutely brilliant, and the fans loved it. That first segment between Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss even had 3.5 million views on WWE's YouTube channel, which is a huge deal for WWE. They don't often have segments go that viral on YouTube, so it showed that a lot of fans were interested in that. I covered every segment we got, every update that came out, and we talked about how Alexa Bliss was the true wild card here. She could really determine the fate of the Universal Champion by either helping Strowman or Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. That's what I fully expected to see at SummerSlam. Alexa was kept off the SmackDown before SummerSlam, and we had that tagline of, "You'll never see it coming" for SummerSlam. I thought that little tagline could be in reference to Alexa Bliss's appearance in the closing moments of the show with a whole new look to help Bray Wyatt win the title. That's what I expected to see, especially after all the lead up and hints over the past few weeks on SmackDown. Apparently, this was exactly what was supposed to happen, and it was still set to take place while the show was on air. But there was a last-second cancellation to those plans, obviously because of the Roman Reigns return. Even Alexa Bliss herself was still under the impression that she was still going out there in the main event, but she was informed at the last second that things changed. I think Alexa Bliss was informed about the change so late during the show because obviously Roman's return was so top secret that not even the talent knew. So Alexa was most likely unaware why the plans changed. Alexa took to Twitter to post a few tweets after the show, and you could basically sense the frustration coming from her. Right after the show went off air, Alexa took to Twitter to post a huge image of the shrugging emoji. She didn't say much, but just from that emoji alone, you can tell what she was implying. She was frustrated of having those weeks of build-up just to be left off the show at the last second. Alexa retweeted a tweet from a fan that said, "Where is Alexa Bliss?" Another fan on Twitter responded to the fan and said, "They built the whole storyline around Alexa Bliss the last few weeks, and then she's not involved at all. Unbelievable." Another fan responded to that by saying, "You expected WWE to follow through with a plot?" All those fans have valid points, but the biggest point there was the last fan. It's unfortunate getting to the point where you can't expect WWE to actually follow through with a plot. It basically never happens nowadays. I love WWE. I'll always be a fan of the company. But me personally, as a viewer that loves storytelling, getting invested and going deep into the stories, it's extremely frustrating watching WWE because of all the inconsistencies and last-second cancellations to major storylines. They never go through with what they build up. There's nothing more frustrating than that. You get so invested in a storyline, you're excited and interested to see what happens next. But then, all of a sudden, you don't see any follow-up to that story, and you read online that, yeah, WWE just decided to drop that storyline, or drop that angle, and it's probably the most annoying thing ever for the viewer. To me, if I'm running a show, or anything like that, I'm going to introduce and tease a storyline to my viewers, and then 3 to 4 weeks into it, I just decide, you know what, let's drop that story, with no explanation. That's just not right. It's frustrating for the viewer. It's not the first time this happened. We've seen another huge cancellation with the SmackDown hacker earlier this year. Months and months of build-up about this hacker, and then he's just gone overnight with no explanation because they changed their mind on the story. All of that should be figured out before you introduce it on TV. Get the whole story planned out and see if you like it, so you can determine if you want to put it on TV or not. Don't introduce a story if you're not committed to it. If you're going to tease something, then decide to drop it in a few weeks later, how about they just don't introduce it on TV in the first place? Did they ever think of that? Roman's return was great, don't get me wrong, but considering all the buildup over the last few weeks, this should have been Alexa's spot at SummerSlam because of all the time we put into seeing that unfold. Then you could have Roman return on SmackDown, or maybe at Payback, but I really think they just blew the opportunity for Alexa to get involved. I don't blame Alexa Bliss for being angry or frustrated at all. I'm just one individual viewer, and I'm just as disappointed and upset with that cancellation. I love WWE, I respect them as a wrestling organization, but based off this situation and a few other storyline cancellations from this year, it's getting really difficult to respect them as a storytelling organization because it seems like they have no commitment to anything they show on screen. Like that fan said, if you believe that WWE is actually going to follow through with a plot, you're basically a fool, and unfortunately, that's true. I learned my lesson. I'm definitely not going to get invested into anything WWE shows on television anymore because there's a good chance that it'll be canceled the following week. That's why I'm not diving too much into Retribution. I like the attacks, I like their style and vibe, but I think they still have no direction, and judging by recent history, there is a good chance that WWE doesn't know what to really do with them either. Just like Raw Underground. I love the idea when I first saw it, but me personally, I'm starting to lose a bit of interest with Raw Underground. Some people may like it, and that's fine, but to me, I view it now as a bit of filler. It's just random 30-second matches with no real story or direction. There was even a report that claimed WWE filmed a lot of segments for Raw Underground this week, but a lot of them got cut from the show. There was also another report that Raw's script was being changed while the show was on air this week, but I tend to just ignore those reports and never cover them because those reports literally come out every single week, saying the exact same thing, so I don't pay it any mind. But if you're changing a television show script while you're on air with that show, then that's a key factor in letting you know that something is wrong. It's not meant to bash WWE at all. I love WWE. It's just a suggestion to make their television product even better. I would just like for them to start getting into the habit of actually following through with the plots and their storylines, and not rewriting things 15 minutes before the show ends. More commitments to storytelling would really improve the overall quality of the product. There was a report that Vince McMahon always says, "Don't tease a match that you can't deliver." So wouldn't that be equivalent to don't tease a storyline that you can't deliver? If you keep up with these storyline cancellations, it's going to get to the point where the viewers will never have high expectations because they know you'll just cancel the story. That's sort of where I'm at right now. I watch the product, but I try not to get invested because of that exact reason. It's such a shame because Alexa was absolutely brilliant and was the main centerpiece for the story. And for you to just remove her big SummerSlam moment is quite the blow to all the hard work she's put in building this arc and basically carrying it on her back. Braun is great, Bray is brilliant, but Alexa was the most interesting character here because we didn't know what to expect from her at SummerSlam. With this cancellation, we'll have to see how WWE will explain Alexa Bliss going back to normal. Or maybe WWE will explain it in their usual fashion, and that's with no explanation at all. Something has to be done about all these cancellations and no commitments to anything they show us. What are your thoughts on this situation? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.